Hello there, lovely folks of YouTube. Ren here. I am in my pajamas still because it is January and there is nothing to do, and I am going to relish this time of rest. But being January, I thought that maybe we could do a little tour of the garden because, I try to do those once a month. Now that being said, it does not feel like January. I think it's about 70 degrees is the high today. It's ridiculous. Far cry of what happened while I was gone over the holidays. I know it got down real cold during that time. I was in Chicago the day I landed. The wind chill was minus 30. It was like the actual air temperature was like minus 5. So yeah, this is a big turnaround from that. But anyway, I haven't really done anything in the garden. Let's just see what we see, It's a thing I do. So anyway, catkins are fully formed on my little hazel here. So it's got that nice winter interest with the catkins and the nice curving branches able to be visible. My blueberry is mostly losing its leaves. You can see under these leaves some of the new buds for next year's growth are starting to form there, so that's always exciting. Cold frame, obviously when it was very cold, my lemon verbena did not like that. I think it's still alive. It did this last year, so we'll see what kind of new growth we get in the spring, but right now it's looking pretty unhappy. Mandrakes are just kind of chugging along. They've lost some of that growth in that cold snap, but they are coming back, and they do that periodically. They go dormant and then they come back, and then they go dormant and then they come back, and I haven't even spent a full year with those yet, so I don't know exactly what their full cycle is. But anyway, things are looking pretty messy in the herb bed. I do have, look at this little guy here. I'm surprised you're still here, my friend. That's a hollyhock. I actually planted that last spring from seed, and just the last of the little black watchman hollyhock seed that I had, see what would happen with it. So, and it's still kind of hanging in there. Same thing with the mullein that's over here, still hanging in there, still doing great. Look at this thing. This is giant. So lost a few of the outer leaves, but nothing to be concerned about there. I do have some dock that's starting to pop up in between there that I'll have to deal with eventually. Vegetable beds are dormant, fallow. I never did get anything to cover them. Ever since I lost my oak tree in the front yard, it's been really hard to source some good leaves to get them covered over with. And of course my youngest is the one who's been in charge of mowing lately, and believe me, I'm very happy to have them do the mowing, but they tend to just do the mulching on the mower and just leave the grass clippings on the lawn, which means I don't have grass clippings to put on my beds either. So but you can see the parsley is still hanging in there. Parsley does that in the winter time. It just kind of hangs in there. Everything's looking kind of dormant. Everything's asleep. So, here you can see my oak leaf hydrangea there is finally... Oh, I saw you, squirrel. There's a squirrel just through the fence there. I don't know if you can see it. He just wandered off. But yeah, my oak leaf hydrangea back in the corner there has just a couple of leaves still hanging on there, but that's pretty much dormant too. And then there's a couple more mullein over here that I've been keeping an eye on. They're not quite as happy as the ones over in the herb bed, but that's because the soil over here is not as high quality as what's in the herb bed. The herb bed has been amended many times. This bed is fairly new, so it still has a lot of that cruddy clay in there. But rue here still has a lot of its leaves on it. Still looking pretty healthy. Obviously there's some of these old seed pods that will need to go, but the most of the leaves of the rue are there because it hasn't been cold enough to really kill them off. This is another one I'm really excited to see is still here. These are some that I also, again, planted the seeds in the spring. They didn't really do a whole lot, but they're still hanging in there, so maybe they'll make it through the winter. We'll see. That is Lunaria. Lunaria annua, also known as money plant. I have yet to be successful in growing that plant, so I don't know, maybe 2023 will be the year. We'll see. Oh, you can see, look at this. I don't know if you can see this. There's some new bud growth on my ebb tide rose there. So that should probably really blow up next year. That's exciting. I never did put my chair away for the winter. That would have required my kids to help out because I haven't really had the strength to do a lot this upcoming winter, but thankfully it's been fairly mild. Oh look, you can see part of my little fence fell down. This is intentional. This actually is not fastened in there. Let's see, I have my little stepping stone there. And then this actually is designed to come down so that I can go under my deck when I need to. But I think my son's dog, when he came here, he was nosing around it and I think he knocked it down. So it just actually kind of hangs on these nails like this so that I can take it down and get under the deck easily without having to disturb anything. So, and you can see there's a couple little foxgloves still hanging in there, but most everything here is, oh crap. Look at this. I hate these things. I hate these things. This is one of the reasons I freaking hate plastic bags. Look at this garbage. That was on my odor. My mom calls these the tumbleweeds of the 20th century. So that will go in the recycling. Pain in my ass. So pond is officially like down for the winter time. I'm a little concerned actually because right before I sent my husband down underneath to when he was changing out the filters in the heat pump, I sent him down there to also unplug my pond because the plug goes into the crawl space, which is, there's the crawl space door there. And he was like, well, I can unplug it, but you know it's not running. And I was like, so that could be a problem because I can show you here. So if we go down in here, this is actually the power cord for my my pump, my waterfall pump. And you can see when we have the crawl space encapsulated, like they literally like it just completely glued that power cord into place as part of the encapsulation. And I'm like, great. It's going to be a huge mess to try and replace that pump because it's literally fused into the encapsulation of our crawl space. So I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that it simply was just kind of gunked up with the pond gunk, and otherwise we'll be okay, but we're gonna find out. This is fun. I always come down here. You can see this. You see all those little water sprays on the rocks around my pond? That's from the birds. The birds come in, they use this as basically a giant bird bath and get their water, and I love it because, you know, I wanted wildlife to partake of the pond. That's part of the reason I built it. So, let me see. Not a whole lot going on. You know, I mean, it's the winter time, so everything is intended to be asleep. This little friend here, I need to move my goddess into the shed. Let me pick her up. At the very least, if I don't do anything else, I do need to move her into shelter so that she doesn't have anything untoward happen to her. So, hellebores are here. There's a couple little sprigs of new growth in there, but not a whole lot. I don't expect to see it just yet. Sometime the next month or two is when I'm going to see the stems with the new flower buds coming up. So, and then my gardenias are hanging in there. Hopefully they'll be okay. I did not cover them with burlap, and you can kind of see like there's some spots there where they definitely got some scorching from the cold temperatures. You know, they got frostbitten. Oh, here's one where you can really see it. So they've definitely been frostbitten, but hopefully they're large enough now that like the outer layers will protect the inner layers. If we get another like really bad cold snap that I'm actually home for, I will probably cover them up before then. But anyway, one of my projects for the spring is to see if I can get some mulch and actually like mulch all of this area here. because that soil needs some serious amendment. I'm going to need to see what I can do with this rosemary too. I might have to just end up replacing this rosemary because you can see it's looking really sad again. And it was really badly pot bound. I literally like dug it up in the spring and like cut away about half of the plant and replanted it, and I think it still just is outgrown that space. So I could probably dig it out and try putting it in the ground somewhere and just see how it does, and then get a new plant and put that in the pot. But I don't know, that's all just musings for the spring. And honestly, that's all that this month is for. January is just for kind of trying to get your bearings, make a plan, think about what you want to do. You can't actually do any of it, but you can at least make a plan. So anyway, I think I will just end on that note. As always, I hope this video finds you well, and I will see you again soon.